Well, it's now 6:30. We'll get started. I'm going to ask Brother Greg Nemo, he's retired from the Crittenden Baptist Association, to lead us in prayer, and if everybody continue to stand for the pledge. Thank you, Greg.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come tonight, and as we come, Father, I pray for this court so much to many people. And Father, as I drive around Grant County, I see that our county is growing, and as it grows, that means just more things that have to be done. So, Father, I'm asking that you give this court wisdom, Father, to do your will for this county and for the people of this county. Thank you for everything they have been doing and are doing right now. We can see good things happening, and we're just tickled to death. And so we just ask you continue to be with them. Now, Father, just bless the time together. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I can have Ted, if you could call roll.
Sean Codarn.
Here.
Roger Humphrey.
Here.
Roger Riley.
Here.
And Judge Gibbs.
Here. First thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Presented a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting dated April 2nd, 2019, special meeting dated April 8th, 2019. Give you all a chance to look at the minutes.
Having read the minute on April 2nd, special meeting April the 8th, I make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
I will second.
I have a second. If there's no further discussion, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next down on the agenda is the physical matters. Present for review a motion for approval of the claims drawn on the general fund, jail fund, road fund, dated April 16, 2019, along with transfers as presented.
I'll make a motion, we approve the claims drawn on the general fund, road fund, jail fund dated April 16th, 2019, along with the transfers as presented.
Second.
I have a second. If there's no further discussion, all in favor by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
That was Jacqueline that seconded.
No, that was Sean.
Sean. Brings us to new business. Item number 1, present for a motion to appoint Colby McClure as a part-time laborer for the Parks Department on an hourly rate of $13.20 per hour, retroactive April 1st, 2019. As most of you know, mowing season has started now, and he's back assisting the county again with the mowing at the Grant County Park.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Yule Colby McClure as part-time labor for the Parks Department, hourly rate of $13.20 an hour, and for it to be retroactive to April 1st, 2019.
A second.
I have a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Present for a motion on item number 2, present for a motion to approve the County Road Aid Cooperative Program Agreement for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2019, along with the resolution between the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Department of Rural and Municipality Aid and the Grant County Fiscal Court and the grant permissions for myself to sign the agreement. I need a motion.
Do they usually have the dollar value?
Yeah, it's in there.
Oh, there it is down at the bottom. I thought it was, and that's usually in 3 payments, isn't it?
Well, there's the agreement, and then there's the resolution, Sean. It's actually 8 pages, but the last 2 pages are the last 2 pages of the resolution that I have to type on who made that you all voted either yea or nay.
Yeah, but I think it's paid out 60, 30, 10, 60 at the top of the, is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Usually that's
The
defined in
percentage.
there.
That's, if you look at page number 2, or the first distribution, we'll show you that initial amount.
Oh, I'm missing page number 2. That's
Yeah, I am too.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Do you have it?
No, I don't.
What do you need?
We don't have page number 2 in our packet.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
All
or
right.
7.
I'm not
I've
sure how
got
that
page
happened.
6 is
Yeah,
the
we're
last
just in a
page I
couple.
have.
7, 8.
I don't even have that one. Okay, there should be 8 pages altogether. You don't have page number 2?
Page
I've got
number-
5 pages is all I
Yeah,
have.
that's what's in this one too. Do you have the full one though, Pat?
Here you go. Let me show you this. Y'all can,
Oh, now we have that.
got
That's
that.
on back in there. Roger, look at that one.
Do you have that?
You have that part.
I don't
I'll
think
have
he,
7
I
or
don't,
8.
I don't.
No,
think
it won't be stapled to that. It'll be on back in the packet. There you go.
There you go. That's the
yeah,
rest.
you have the agreement and you have the resolution.
Yes,
Okay.
and then do you have 2 of 8 though? Page 2 of 8?
Do you not have that?
No, it's in
No,
none
we
of these
don't have
packets.
that.
You do? You got it? Okay, we can look at it. This is what you were looking for.
Yeah, I'm looking for the apportionment. Yeah, there we go.
3%
The distribution.
tip, 350.
Yeah, usually you have 3 distributions.
Oh, you have a copy of the resolution, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, we do have that. The initial, the first district. Yeah, and then you'll get your next,
Okay.
and then they have a
I
file.
apologize, I didn't realize it didn't print page number 2.
That's
Okay.
okay.
You're all paying
I kept
attention?
thinking something was missing, I'm sorry. Make sure we had it. Okay, I make a motion to approve the County Road Aid Cooperative Program Agreement for fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2019, with the resolution between the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the Transportation Department of Rural and Municipal Aid, and the Fiscal Court, and grant permission for Judge Executive Chuck Dills to sign this agreement.
I will second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'll make sure I email you all that for your packets.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, we have 3 additions that we've added onto the docket. It was actually last minute before we could get them on the agenda, and you should have copies of all that in your packets. First one is addition is number 3 has been added. Deed for Boats Lake Road,
Okay.
and copy the deed in it. This will allow me I need a motion to approve a deed assignment of Boats Lake Road located off of Dry Ridge Mountain Zone Road from the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife of the County of Grant, a political subdivision of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and to grant Judge Executive Chuck Dills permission to sign deed. I know there's been a discussion in the past on the road. We normally just wouldn't take a road in when we got so many to maintain, but this is a small portion, not including the parking lot on Boats Lake Road, which I've told several for many years, I believe that was a county road, and it's not. It belonged to Fish and Wildlife. And we have mainly 1 to 2 residents that, as the snowplow trucks are going out Dry Ridge Mountain Zion Road, they're not able, because we didn't own the road, to plow in front of these people's houses. So I'm asking to allow me to sign the deed to transfer the deed over to the county. I can have Stephen speak on it. I had him review the deed assignment if there's anything you want to add on that, Stephen.
Nothing other than I reviewed the source of title. It does look to be in order, and quite frankly, I was of the group that thought that it was a county road until Judge Dills informed me otherwise, so.
Many citizens think it is, and it's been an ongoing, frankly, I feel like a fiasco. Is it in, is it out? I think sometimes it would get plowed, sometimes it wouldn't, and I've never known a Fish and Wildlife to take care of a road.
Yeah, and you gotta consider in the summertime, there's a substantial amount of traffic that moves in and out that road because, you know, they do use Bolts Lake quite a bit to fish on, so, you know, it's used by the county quite a bit, so.
There's also an old letter in the file downstairs where they had asked us years ago
To consider.
take that road in.
Okay.
Well, and I think Chuck stated that we're really not in a situation to take on new additional roads when we have our hands full with what roads we have, but, I mean, to me, I think it needs to be done. I make a motion to approve the deed presented this evening for the assignment of Bolts Lake Road located on Dry Ridge, Mount Zion Road, from the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources to the County of Grant, a political subdivision of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and to grant Judge Executive Chuck Dills permission to sign the deed.
I second.
I have a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I think it just cleans it up. So
Yes.
we know when it'll be done. The road will be
Anybody
plowed and
asks?
fixed. That just cleans it up.
Mr. Tatum, the county now owns Bolts Lake Road. Wow.
Add that to the list.
Yeah, so you can
Legally.
officially, when I call you, you can say,
You
you
can
can't
legally
say,
do it.
we don't own, we don't.
Legally, you can clean the road. And I guess at some point, we'll fix the road.
Well, it is blacktopped. I mean, some of the roads we've taken in are just still gravel, so.
That is an
Now,
improvement, that is true.
that might be a statement said, but it still needs some work. It's got some bad holes in it. And we probably, you know, coming to summer and the amount of traffic that's going to get on it, we probably do need to do that.
Moving down to item number 4 on the new business. This is another add-on as we're working on the budgets, preparing for the next fiscal year. We need to get the bids advertised out for our road department for the materials and supplies, such as the salt, the gravel, the sand, for them to do their due diligence to fix the roads and salt the roads in the winter. So if I can get a motion to advertise for the bids.
I make a motion to approve the notice to bid for the materials and supplies for the Grant County Road Department for the upcoming fiscal year.
I'll second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, the new business that's added on. This came up on the 11th hour also. We're wanting to bid for, we had in the budget for a new tractor and mower as the summer's approaching us quickly to get the right-of-ways mowed out. And we're wanting to place out for bids. We believe that there may be some cheaper prices outside of the state bid. So I'm asking that you allow me to, and I need a motion to approve for notice to bid for a 2019 mower tractor with a half batwing mower.
I'll make a motion that we approve the notice to bid for 2019 mowing tractor with a half batwing mower, and for Judge Dills to go ahead and get that notice going.
I second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to the next item on the agenda, executive order number 2019-09. Item number 1 is present for a motion to approve executive order number 2019-09, appointing Dr. Jack Linehan, DMD, to serve as a member of the North Kentucky District Board of Health effective July 1, 2019, expires June 30th, 2020, or I'm sorry, June 30th, 2021. And for any of you that don't know, Dr. Linehan has served on the Health Department Board. This would be his last term. He'd be eligible to serve. I've spoke with him, and he has interest in continuing to serve. Need a motion to approve executive order.
I make a motion to approve Executive Order Number 2019-09, appointing Dr. Jack Linehan to serve as a member of the Northern Kentucky District Board of Health, effective July 1st, 2019, and to expire June 30th of 2021.
I second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to reports, Judge Exec's report. I'll just keep it short. I mean, we're working on budgets. Peggy and Pat's been a great help. Peggy, last week while I was gone on a school field trip, she worked quite a few hours on the budget trying to put some numbers together for us to review. So thanks, Peggy, for the work you're doing on it. Roads, Steve, anything you want to add on updates of?
The bridge on Blanchard, the new one, they've got the I-80 set, it'll be now $40. So it's well on its way, their work almost completed. And working on Arnold Creek Road, we're splitting on them. That's the bottom.
What about an update for the community on Blanchett Road itself, as far as what we needed to be doing with it, filling it in from the county level before it's paved?
I've got the rock all laid down. All I need to do now is to re-ditch it, so we put the water line in.
Mm-hmm. Where the county put the water line in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our part's done, except for the resurfacing, laying the asphalt over it. And we need to hold off a little while on that because those machines that they're moving in there to do their work and the work on the bridge, they're having to unload them on Baker Way.
And drive it all the way, because those trailers can't, there's nowhere for them to really turn around at.
They can't turn.
Yeah.
They're tracking them back, walking them back.
Got it. Well, and I think the best you all could do is continue to just monitor as rain comes, if the gravel needs to be spruced up and replaced until we can get it paved. So thank you for that.
I'll get it disappeared shortly. Back in shape. It's close to it.
Did I read right that was it thousands of dollars we spent in gravel to fill those? We had approved a bid for like $6,000. I've just been keeping a running count of how much those two spots have cost. And it's going to be like, what, $25,000 to pave. It's going to be $500,000 of federal and county and state taxes to what GSI did. I mean, so we're like at $535,000 for two spots, no bigger than the length of this courthouse. Okay, I was just curious. It was quite a bit, wasn't it? Yeah, that's what I
I
thought.
think it was,
6,000?
$6,550.
Okay, that was that invoice then.
and then I thought there was another one too, and there was also one for Jadis, and we had to buy some extra rock for Jadis.
So, well, thanks for
And
keeping up.
Jameson's complete now, so.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're staying busy. Thanks a lot, Steve.
One more thing, Chuck, on that listing that we sent to the state on the projects that we we were going to work on,
And the pictures and
and the
that.
pictures and that, where are we on any of that? Or,
Well, they've got it, I sent it down.
Yeah.
okay.
So,
You drove it on the bridge and guardrail?
Yeah, like
Bridges
down that
Guard-
shady lane
Yeah,
we
that's-
had, and
It was like 17 jobs, basically, I think, if I recall right.
how long have they had it, Pat? They've had it for a while, haven't they?
They had asked for, we sent it, and then they asked for pictures. And did the pictures all get sent?
Yes.
Okay, so then might need to just message them and,
Well, we're meeting with,
Oh,
not
yeah,
on
Tuesday.
this.
It's, okay.
No, actually,
No,
yeah,
it's gonna
You meet
be the DOT is that we're meeting with, isn't it?
tomorrow
Yes.
on discretionary road funds.
Oh,
So
okay.
he may have some answers on that.
is that with, the gentleman with the ponytail?
Nick,
No, okay. He
No.
won't, it'll be.
I think he's from District, is he District 6?
That guy wanted to be. Oh,
no, I
oh,
think
Is
he's
he-
from
is he
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt?
His name's slipping my mind. Pat's got it, who we could
Craig.
just send a, Craig, yeah, Cottle.
Yes.
Moving on down to other reports, magistrate reports. Jacqueline, do you have anything to add?
I think Mr. Tatum covered our road issues, continuing to, follow up with him as necessary on issues that come up. We hosted our Work Ready community meeting with key stakeholders this morning. Colton was there with us. Grant County is classified currently as a Work Ready in progress, and I did receive notification from Frankfurt that we would have to resubmit by fall. I was hoping we would be grandfathered in underneath the new terms that they designate for in process, which is 3 years, but unfortunately, our certification will expire in November, and they're requesting for us to update our narratives and our plans as to what we're doing, focused around employment, education, quality of life, transportation. What is it that the community is doing for ex-offenders, for Medicaid population, for veterans, et cetera. So about a year ago, the state updated the criteria, and so I've been very pleased with the numerous stakeholders in the community that participate. We meet every other month, and likely what I would like to do, Judge, is as we prepare the draft narrative, actually have I chair the committee, but actually have some of the members come up and speak sometime just to share with you folks as a governing body. As to what plans are in place. Robin Webster is been working very hard with updating our communications, websites, and so we will also be tapping on the newspaper later this summer as we fully roll out that website. So lots of things are happening behind the scenes to better market Grant County and to show the quality of life that we have, in addition to the tech center that we have. So I'm very thankful for the folks that come together, every other month. We've got our work cut out for us because, graduation rates aren't as high. 2- and 4-year degree attainment also isn't as high as it needs to be according to the state's recommendations. And so more to come on that. I've attended the City of Corinth's council meeting last week, and frankly, a topic that came up, actually, our county attorney and his assistants have been involved with, where we have a cabin that's been installed in downtown Corinth that isn't hooked up to sewer or water, and it is basically on the sidewalk, and so they're working through some compliance issues. And then there's been something that's came up, and I'm not sure, Judge, if other people have filled at this, and Mr. Bates, I think your office is following up on this, but some citizens have stopped me in regards to Cash Express throwing out the mail. I call it a mailer, but a mailer goes in the mailbox or gets hung on the door. And the citizens are upset that it's in their yard, they didn't ask for it, their dogs are getting it and chewing it up. And they asked me, well, do you not consider that littering? They're driving down the road and they're throwing it out in every citizen's yard. I didn't pay for the newspaper, I didn't pay for the pins or the ads, and so I'm like, I'm not sure. So I just wanted to make sure, that we're following up on that, and I told them that I would.
And the sheriff's office is involved in it also.
Okay.
I met with the sheriff. I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail because it's an ongoing investigation, but at this point, I have met with the sheriff, and we are going to follow up on that issue.
Okay.
I do want everybody to understand that why it is littering for those things to happen, we actually have to recognize that a person is doing it, and so just it being a Cash Express cup does not implicate Cash Express as a criminal defendant
Okay,
And
these were in a plastic bag thrown out in their yards, and some of them were even on some of my properties that I own.
That's what he's
That's-
saying.
okay.
Yeah,
We know
Okay.
it's
We know it's coming
express.
from them.
Okay.
But I guess, let me the analogy I would use would be, is if you end up with a Papa John's box in your yard, that doesn't mean that Papa John's necessarily threw the box in your yard. It just means that someone put that box in your yard.
Okay.
So I can't charge
He's
Papa John's.
addressing
with
the
it,
issue.
so-
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so we're
Well-
working through
As
those
expressed.
issues. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, as long as, so I thought that was kind of interesting because I know they've been doing that for years. And so anyways, yeah. And so I'll be quiet and pass it on to my peers because I'm sure they've got things that I've participated in that they can update you on too. Take it away, Sean.
Take it away. Tomorrow, we are going to be visited by the Department of Justice at the jail for their visit. I anticipate some good news for that. I will be attending that along with Chuck and members of the jail. Also, tomorrow afternoon, the Kentucky Department DOT is going to be coming to talk to us about some discretionary funds that Grant County might have available to use still. We'll also be attending some training with the DOT come April the 23rd. And also, this past, in March, the 27th, 2019 issue of the Lane Report. The Lane Report is a business and economical news magazine, and it's published by the Lane Group, and it's located out of Lexington, Kentucky. Had quite a good article about Grant County. I was going to read just an excerpt of the beginning. I thought it was really good. It shows that we are, being publicized and gaining ground across the state and across the nation. But it says, community events, easy access to large cities, a lower cost of living compared to surrounding areas, and neighbors who care about one another make Grant County attractive to residents and business owners. With its accessibility to I-75 and US 25 and by rail, the county has attracted more than 2 million visitors in 2 years to the Ark Encounter and Williamstown. So that's just the beginning, but, having Lane Report even report this, I think says a lot about Grant County now and how we are, becoming popular.
Have
So I
you
think
shared that on our Facebook?
I don't know
Share
if we-
share that link on there.
Yeah.
That's
we
good
can-
news.
Yeah, it is. But, and we've got 446 views, so. Smart. So, that's pretty good. Another thing I want to mention, I know we go ahead and approve a lot of these claims and everything pretty fast, but I do want to make mention that we did have to do a intertransfer from 50,000 from the general fund to the jail fund. This was an anticipated transfer, but I think we're fortunate that we're this late in the year even having to do that transfer. And Peggy and I sat down a couple weeks ago, and it looks like we're not going to have to do the amount transfer as anticipated in the budget. So I think that's a good thing too. So I just, just for transparency purposes.
Add something to that, Simone. The reason I did that is because I'm anticipating if I don't receive
The check.
Yes.
that may not have to even be done.
That's good, but I just like for transparency purposes and
That it's April, there's,
that's April and, there's still quite a bit that hasn't been transferred and I still think that's a good thing. Because a lot of people come up and they look at these claims and saying, well, you all, you might just be approving everything and transferring and we really don't know, but just for transparency. Your turn.
Last week, I attended a CAECO training session down in Corbin titled County Government 101. It was a really good course, really. It was an all-day course, open records, open meetings. It also had to deal with the soil conservation districts, the UK programs, and the 4-H programs and everything, things that you don't hear a lot of things about that we are involved with as far as supporting these people and what's available to these young people out here. And some great information got passed along. Looking forward to working closer with these folks as we move along. Working here in the county, although it was in the city limits, we did have a fatal fire in Crittenden last week also, where a person lost their life. And tragic, very tragic, and our thoughts and prayers to those folks who lost a loved one. We don't even know who it is.
that's what I was wondering if it had been, if
No,
the identity had been
there's
confirmed
a
yet.
possible known who it is, but they're going to have to do
Not-
DNA
okay.
to prove who it is. Very tragic that someone has lost their life, no matter who it was. A lot of folks were complaining that day about that fire, that they had to turn around and come all the way back to Dry Ridge to get on the interstate to go anywhere. And that really bothered me. It really did. You know, you're sitting there complaining about that, and here's somebody has lost a loved one in a fire, and it bothered me. It really did. We've got a whole lot more things to be worried about, folks, than having to turn around to spend an extra 10 minutes on the road. Everybody wants these potholes fixed, and then they start complaining about, well, the traffic's backed up. You know, we just got to get our priorities straight in life. Everybody does. Road department, they're working themselves every day, daylight to dark, trying to get these roads maintained, and I appreciate everything they've done. I appreciate the cooperation in the county. I appreciate the openness in the county. Working with the sheriff's department and the jail, these guys are going above and beyond what has ever been asked of them, and starting programs and doing the right thing, and that's something we've needed for a long time. So, that being said, that's all I got.
Okay, thanks a lot, Roger. Mike Webster, jailer.
Keep my report short and sweet tonight. We have a total of 307 inmates. 253 of them are state, 54 county. I don't have the poundage on the trash we picked up the last 2 weeks. It was down a little bit due to the fact that we started our mowing season. So we've been pretty busy mowing green grass, which is a good thing in between the rains. As Shauna spoke, we got the DOJ coming in this week. We look forward to getting through that, and hopefully good news to come out of that and go forward. Thank you all for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Commend you, Mike, for the hard work you're all getting ready. So I know it's stressful going through inspections.
They did a good job by pressure washing the courthouse.
Yeah, on the Class Ds, and just for anybody noticed, Class Ds helped with maintenance on the pressure washing of the courthouse. They repainted the county clerk's office where some paint was peeling, so they're getting the foundation stripped off to repaint it, and we're hoping to get some masonry folks in to look at our brick to see what the problem is with our leaks. So thanks a lot, Mike.
Did you get any people to do that yet?
Yeah,
Or-
that we've contacted
Okay, you
them to
have,
come up.
okay.
Moving down to Sheriff's report, Sheriff Maines is at the Crittenden Council meeting, and before that, he was at the Williamstown School Board meeting. So filling in is Chief Deputy Todd Cummings.
We blew up another cruiser, so we're down a cruiser again.
Oh, no.
The two that are at L&W to be done, they tell me will be done next week, the end of next week, so we'll have those two. The one cruiser, we can track an earpiece for Amazon, but we can't track a $27,000 Ford Explorer. We don't know where that one is yet. So I've called Ford 3 times a week for the last 2 weeks, and I've not got a call back, so I don't know if they know where it is or not. We've got 2 deputies that will graduate the academy the
16th
the 16th
of May.
16th of May. One of those will come right back out. He was already on the road before he had to go to the academy. So he'll be a quick addition to the force. The other one will be going through his 14 weeks of FTO, which is field training with riding with the deputy for that time. But we're getting there. We've been busy. It's just busy calls. The fire was an all-day event.
How are the overdose, are they increasing a little bit lately? I guess I'd heard from Pendleton County, they had 3 over one weekend, a couple weekends ago, or about a month ago, and
They're down from where they were.
Yeah.
They're not they're down from where our high point. So over here at least they're not increasing. You know, the call volume, we're busy with other stuff, but as far as that goes, the heroin overdoses have not increased.
And as we reported, I think last meeting, I spoke to the coroner, and when we looked at his reports, they were
They were
actually down,
too.
which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing. So And I'm in week 5 of stand this Friday. And then plan on finishing May the 3rd, planning on have graduation sometime the week. The 6th through the 10th, they're in testing, so sometime the week of the 13th, I plan on graduating Sherman and Crittenden. I've got to meet with Dry Ridge and Mason to see when they want to have their graduation, which is hopefully within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then Williamstown's 5th grade graduation, we're going to do that the same day of their high school graduation. So it's going to occur at the same time. So
Will you let us know so we can come support you and support those kids on the graduation dates?
I've had nothing but positive feedback. The kids, and they really enjoy it. It's informative. Like I said, I'm targeting the the drugs that I see or that we see that affects this community, and I'm getting positive responses back from the kids and the teachers, and it seems to be sinking in, and that's the whole goal. Education is power.
Yep.
Knowledge is power. The more they know, the better off it's going to be. And that's how we win this drug addiction, this drug war, is through education, and starting with the youth.
What age groups, and you probably said this before, in the elementary level?
5th grade. I teach 5th grade.
5th grade.
And it's like I tell the kids, we picked 5th grade because next year they're going to be in the middle school with older kids. They'll be in school with
Exposed
kids
to
that are
more.
13, 14 years old. So we talk about peer pressure and ways to say no, and we talk about the drugs they're going to be introduced to. And I tell the kids, it's not going to be from a stranger in the dark corner with a trench coat on. It's going to be from somebody they know. That's just the truth. If anything, I'm the truth teller.
Do they see much in the elementary at all of the drug use at all?
It's not what they see as far as it's their family life that
Okay.
they see it more in. There's when I asked
I just
last
wonder-
week's lesson was heroin, okay? And when you ask how many families, how many kids in here are affected by whether mom, dad, aunt, uncle, their family has been affected, the majority of the hands go up in the classroom. That their lives, family members somehow have been affected by this drug crisis that we're fighting. So
Yeah.
they understand when you're talking to them and understand what.
And
what
that's
I'm talking
amazing at 5th grade that they know what heroin is, but it's just become that predominant.
Sharp.
Mr. Cummins, the car that blew up, was it an older one? Was it a wreck? What's the scoop on that?
It was an older one. It's a 2009 Dodge
Oh,
Charger. So
okay.
we've rebuilt the top half to get it as long as we've had it, and now the bottom half went, and it's
And so we're
It's
gonna probably just
$4,000 to fix it,
discontinue
and it's just
Will be
that one.
it'll be
Okay.
one that will be surplus.
good money
in
after
there
that
soon.
for that amount of money. So.
And so then when the 2 come in, you're still gonna be behind then, right? Or will
But
you?
we'll still have older cars on the road
Okay.
because the 2 that are in the academy do not have cars. They do not have marked cruisers. So we're still behind. We've still got to catch up. It's.
And we're working on, just to add to that, I talked to Brian about getting the vehicles listed in the impound, also cruisers. I've talked to Steve Tatum of getting a list, and hopefully here in the next few weeks, we'll have a list to declare surplus to get rid of some of these.
Get them off the books quickly and
Yeah,
insurance on them.
Get the insurance off of them and have some revenue to come back into the budget.
But I'm hoping to get the other one, if they ever find it, by the end of May, hopefully get that one on the road so we can at least have cars for everybody to
I
drive.
just never heard of that before.
I haven't either.
That's
They keep telling me it's Chicago, but it don't take that long to drive from Chicago to here.
interesting. Thank you.
Well, Todd, thank you. Next on the agenda, we have citizens' address. Does anyone want to speak? Brian Marshall, anything you want to say? You want to speak, Greg?
Yes, just for a second, couple of things. Listening to the thing about Cash Express, and I certainly sympathize with that. But also, we have individuals too, like Avon people that throw it out, and so I don't know, that's up to you, Steve, on that. But one of the things that was concerning me and what you said in our Grant County, where we're at, as far as our health and things of this nature, there has been a lot of cancer in Grant County and northern Kentucky. I mean, just more so than just seen. And I was just quite concerned. I was driving by the landfill, and I'm wondering who's monitoring what's going in there?
Several people. We have a solid waste coordinator, Brian Miles, who's very experienced, along with the EPA at the state and federal level. They're pretty strict on the requirements of the landfill, on the burn off and things like that. That's not saying that something couldn't happen, but I know they're pretty thorough on inspections.
They also, the 109 board with Brian Miles, who is on the solid waste coordinator, they also have to collect water samples out of the stream.
Yeah, at all times.
And
Air
have
samples.
those, yeah,
Yes.
and have those sent to labs for testing. And I just know that because I've attended their meetings and they've reported on collecting them.
Right.
But to Judge Dill's point, I mean, they do that, but it doesn't mean something couldn't happen.
The landfill actually doesn't concern me as much as a private dump, because no one's monitoring the air quality and water quality, from that private dump area.
That still runs into the streams, that still can filter out in the air.
Right. On that. Well, it just concerns me. I mean, on a personal level, I have a daughter who has cancer, and she's been battling that.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Now they're saying she'll be battling it the rest of her life. And I just seeing more and more of it, and was just concerned about, I see tank trucks going in there, at nighttime. I have a friend down there. I mean, the landfill's closed. Who's opening that up? That's what's concerning me. Is that person there for those individuals, that's bringing that stuff in? And it's just a concern, it just bothers me, and I just don't want to see anybody else going through what we're going through.
Right.
So,
Good point.
just thank you for letting me share that.
Well, thanks a lot, Greg.
Judge, if I could just address it, and I want to address this, the issue with the littering, and we're going to prosecute these people, okay? When we find them, we're going to prosecute them. I met with the sheriff today, I met with Becky today, we're going to take care of these issues with littering and the way places look. But I don't want to go in on a case and not win it, okay? Because when you don't win the case against a litterer, guess what they do? They litter some more because they know that you failed the first time. So when I get them, I want to get them, but I want to do it the right way, and I want to make sure we got the case squared up and ready to go. And so that's why I'm getting all these ducks in a row and making sure that when we go, we're ready to go.
Know this, we'll support you.
I appreciate it, yeah.
He might want to talk to Brian Miles. Well, might be able to, give him some information
Yeah.
so that he feels a little more comfortable.
Yeah, and Greg, if you want to, Brian Miles, he's in training the rest of this week, but his office is in the basement. Very knowledgeable. I mean, when you get a chance, stop by and see him, and he'll fill you in more details than what we even know. Just, I know that there's a lot of inspections, air quality, things like that, but he can give you a little bit more information, make you feel better. Okay? Thanks for bringing that up. Next on the agenda, reminder, we have a public property corporation meeting. This will be a public properties corporation meeting immediately following after the adjournment of this meeting. So if I can go ahead and ask for a motion for adjournment from our regular.
You might want to say that we're going to have a special meeting. Did I put that on there?
Yeah, for next, just a reminder. Yeah, the court's next meeting of the bodies will be a special meeting on Tuesday, April 23rd, 2019 at 3:30 p.m. And that meeting's the second reading on 2 zoning changes. To have a second reading for, let me move on down. There will be a caucus meeting immediately following this special meeting. The next regular meeting will be on Tuesday, May 7th, 2019, 6:30 PM. Meetings will be held here in the Grant County Courthouse. So if I can get a motion to adjourn,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I will second.
I have a second. All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, moving down to, you should have in your packet, agenda for Public Properties Corporation meeting. Does everybody have that out? Item number 1, we need to approve the minutes for January 8th, 2019, meeting of the corporation.
Having read the minutes, I make a motion to approve the January 8th, 2019 meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
I have a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
You signed that one?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's your copy.
Oh, I just signed it and was giving it to you.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, number 2, and it's reasonable, really, actually, meeting. Stephen Bates received a notice, he needed to redo the registration with the Secretary of State on the officers of the corporation. So item number 2 is to approve the change in the registered agent and principal officers of the corporation, to approve the payment for changing of information on the annual report and the cost of filing the report. So I need a motion to allow us to make those changes that need to be made with the new names.
I make a motion to approve the change in the registered agent and the principal officers of the corporation, and to approve the payment for changing the information on the annual report and the cost of filing the report.
I will second.
All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and that should adjourn us from our meeting.
I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I second.
I have a second. Any discussion on adjournment? All in favor by saying
We're
aye.
going to go home and mow the grass.
Motion carries.
Okay,
Now.
now, I need you and Jacqueline to sign that.
Oh, okay, that's why I was giving you that.
Do
Okay.
you have a
Shauna, I
check?
need you to sign the check.
Yeah, I need to sign, you need a check, you need to sign a check.
I didn't hit it.
Hurry, hurry.
Hurry.
See ya.
Should be an interesting.
Uh-huh.
And who else needs to sign? Does Jacqueline need to sign?
I'm the secretary.
Sean.
Yeah, I need to sign a check.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
thank you,
Thanks,
Greg, for
Greg.
coming up. Stop up. Checks for $250,000.
Shoot.
Is it made out to me?
No.
You passing those out to everybody?